Hello and welcome to episode 7 of our Timberborn Update 7 Emberpelts playthrough. Cycle 11, day 7. A whole lot of 7s. We're currently in the middle of a temperate cycle and just recently expanded our storage area here. And there's a lot of different things that we should probably address pretty soon, but I'm going to focus on 2 for today. Firstly, we deleted our medical beds and did not rebuild them, so we're going to build a beaver medical complex of sorts. And then we're also going to try to make a push toward Dynamite, so that we can start the process of getting this whole area set up to be a big reservoir and tastefully modify terrain for industrial purposes and not aesthetic purposes. That's my hope, at least. So right off the bat, we do have an injured beaver who has nowhere to go. So while we're building this thing, we should put in at least 1 medical bed. Let's make that a priority just so they have somewhere to go. And then we have to also figure out a site for our little beaver hospital, whatever you want to call it. Over here we do have this exercise plaza that has been surrounded by intended construction. At least they haven't gotten to it yet. That's going to look good as we continue expanding things. But somewhere in this general area, I think would be smart to have some sort of medical facility. So we could either go up here, we could have it kind of out here in the middle, or since I already said this probably wouldn't be a great place to have irrigation. Now we could have something with some storage underneath or some sort of other story that we could tell with that and then build on top and then maybe focus on having some irrigation and farming and stuff down here because this is a pretty cool area. We peel the terrain back. There's a lot more space under here than you think there is. And while this is currently susceptible to poison when we have all of our Badwater coming through here, I think long-term it could be a pretty good place to have some nice irrigation, some nice farming, and different options. But for now, we don't really have anything to do over there, and we still need to figure out what else is going to go over here. So if we just examine this hole here, and we go into our medical beds, we do in this mod just have the basic medical bed. I know Leaf Coats have the triple-decker medical bunk beds and some other things. The only stuff we really have to worry about for medical care with the Emberpelts faction is medical beds, and then decontamination pods, which we are not very close to being able to use, because those require Phoenix Essence, which does have to be made, I think... Oh, where is that building? I actually don't know. Is it under Science, possibly? Ah, there it is. Phoenix Distillery. This is how you make Phoenix Essence. You have to have the bell peppers, you have to have charcoal, and you have to have fuel. And we're not very close to having fuel, so I'm going to create this with the decontamination pods in mind. But it's probably not going to be a very viable thing for a while to put those in. But we have the space here. It's too deep, kind of irregularly shaped, but I think we might be able to squeeze in some storage of various things in a manner that is not going to be completely ridiculous. We could also kind of blow this up a little bit if we wanted to. But my basic vision for this is we have a little bit of storage down here in the very bottom. One of these tanks or something, if we can figure out how to put something on top of it. And then build the rest of the structure on top of that with some aesthetically pleasing rows of medical beds. And then some of these, and then do some landscaping, make it look nice. I don't know exactly when we're going to be able to get to that. But like I said, I do want to get some terraforming stuff going as well, which is going to require that we get an explosives factory, which is going to require that we get a Badwater pump and all that stuff. We got a decent amount of science because we do have our number cruncher. And I do have the materials to build these. We just have to have a place where Badwater can be pumped out. And as it would happen, we do have a Badwater source here that long-term does need to be capped. So depending on how many leaps forward in technology we want to make without having any intermediaries, I always forget what these things are. We could go straight to the Badwater rig if we really wanted to. I do have the materials minus the gears to build this, and this would give us a tremendous quantity of Badwater. And then we could also, if we gave it some extract, we could get more Badwater. If we gave it Phoenix Essence, we could give it water. Or that would give us water. So, since I have almost 10,000 science, and we want to get to this eventually anyway, why don't we just go ahead and unlock this? Go for broke, and place this in such a manner that it is going to be pretty interesting to look at by the time we're finished as well, which would mean this comes out this way. So what might work here, what might look kind of interesting, is if we come into the side here with just some regular platforms, and even though these aren't the most space-efficient whatever distributions, it's going to look interesting if I were to do something like this with these two tanks on either side. We're going to need storage for Badwater. We're going to need storage for extract eventually. But for right now, just for the sake of stuff looking cool, I think that's going to be pretty nice. And we can come in with some staircases on either side. Again, they're not going to be able to actually get to this for a while. And industrial area gets the path with the railing. So that's going to connect that to that. And then around here, we have the opportunity to just kind of continually go up and down. You'll notice it's not perfectly symmetrical, but it's got a pretty decent looking design for us to just do one of these types of numbers here, just all the way up either side, and figure out how stuff is going to fit when it comes around to it. Now, I don't have the spiral staircases in this mod, which is unfortunate because I really do like how those look. So what might end up happening here is we end up kind of reconfiguring the design a little bit. But we do need to get Beavers over here to start building this, and we also need to really increase the storage space for gears. In the last episode, we started with these larger gear workshops and lumber mills. They don't have anywhere to put anything just yet, so let's take a look here. Yeah, my gear storage is basically just this one bit right there. So in the spirit of actually making progress, I'm not going to go for the large warehouse just yet, because that would also require that we have a whole lot of planks. So gears are going to need their own storage, which for our purposes here probably makes the most sense to do one of these. I know aesthetic playthrough, so on and so forth, but if I spend all my time trying to lay things out perfectly the first time, then this series would be 800 episodes and nobody would watch it. So we do have to be cognizant of that. I'm going to put in a bigger storage for planks as well, although I think we can kind of make that look a little bit nicer compared to some of this other stuff if I can find a place for this to go. That's not going to be completely ridiculous. This is the landscaping layout just makes that a big challenge. So for right now, I know we were talking about maybe planting stuff here. I need somewhere to put this that's not going to be completely stupid. And that will be fine to go there. So we're going to let them probably do some of these things a little bit quicker. Get those prioritized. Start making especially more gears. And figure out how we are going to get over here. Let's also not forget, we have tube-ways with the Emberpelts. They are the originators, after all, of the tiny tube-way station mod. And we also have these tube-way bridges, and we have tube-way tunnels, and tube-way levee tunnels, and all sorts of cool stuff to get into. We just have to be able to use them tastefully. So, since there is a height since there's a height difference of 2 blocks here, if we want to have reliable transportation across this gap, we're going to have to work up to it. It is just one of those things that, you know, is going to just take time. So what is going to make the most sense for how this is set up, I believe, would be for us to pop in bridge here, just the way across. I am going to have both of these unlocked. I don't think it really matters. So let me just get the 3x1 and the 2x1 unlocked now. I'm going to go with a 2x1 and a 1x1. I know it's not symmetrical, but it's going to work just fine. And then this will have to just get our beavers going across there. Get some staircases going up here. Again, not the most beautiful thing ever. Also not the most permanent thing ever. I just need to have access over here. Get a staircase down there. And then what I need to do is make sure that I can access this. The way this is set up. Actually, no, that's in the way. Oh, come on. If I put a staircase here, they should be able to stand on this staircase and build this Badwater rig without building everything else. And of course, once this is complete, then all the Badwater is going to stop coming out of here, which is going to mean that this area, come on, is going to get substantially cleaner without this direct poison here. We peel back our levels You can see this is completely isolated. There is no further passageway elsewhere. And the poison coming in from here, come on, scroll with me here, is actually, that's the outlet it's coming out of. So where's our closest? Okay, that's another Badwater thing right there that goes this way, down there. I guess technically it can make its way over here, but most of this, outside of that nasty, most of this is coming from over here. Got clean water. We've got a Badwater thing. Oh, there's a whole lot of those. We'll get it cleaned up eventually. Oh! Well. Who could have seen this coming? Ugh, alright, see this, since this is completely separated now, I don't think we need to have this, this fully separated here. I just have to remember how... Okay, that's completely separated. Okay. This no longer needs to change, because this is just going to be what it is. Let's just lower that all the way down. You know, I'd made a mental note to check on this when I started the episode, and then you know how that goes. It never goes. Oh, not everything's dead yet. It will be very soon, but, Let's see if the water can help us out here. Oh, this is still got some nasty in it. That's why. That's why. 0.4 days, 0.2 days. Okay, that's definitely going to be dead. Maybe not. Okay. Saved. Well, not saved by the bell. That's a different thing entirely. Saved by something. Those bell peppers did die. Those are fine. This will be irrigated in short order once this fills back up. Yeah, clearly, like, this is never a perfect solution. It was never going to be a perfect solution. It was just a solution, or the solution that I was able to do at that point in time. We very clearly need to keep any more bad water from coming in this area, and this is part of the problem here. But now I need to make sure... Okay, so this is the only real bad water source in this area. And I know there's one over here, there's one over here, one over here. This is really going to help clean things up a whole lot. Okay, they can't reach that good. Yeah, they're going to be working on this for a little bit of time. That just goes to show you this really, really needs to get done, because I'm not going to remember everything, no matter what. Okay, other stuff to discuss. Aesthetic playthrough, so on and so forth. Again, your expectation of aesthetic and mine are probably very different, because I typically play with absolutely no regard whatsoever. And then you have people like Skystorm, who, by the way, is back making Timberborn videos again. Go watch his stuff. Makes really, really cool looking things that I could never possibly imagine. So there is going to be a difference between expectations there. I just want to make sure we manage those appropriately. That being said, this floodgate eventually will be replaced with the flat top floodgate that looks substantially better and can have a path going across it. That's my goal. Of course, it does take time, as we've established. How are we looking here? Okay, slow progress. I did want to come back over here for a minute because I asked you guys last time what you wanted to see in the back side of this, and I think a good option for us right off the bat is going to be to put in a contemplation spot right here. And then on top of that, put in a platform and then some sort of decoration. Like we have our beaver statue, and I didn't put the beaver busts here. I also saw a couple people say that they didn't like how this was set up. Well, we'll figure it out. But this beaver bust would probably be a decent thing to pop in that location. In a different configuration that doesn't have something else behind it. Yes, I did see those comments. But for right now, if I find my half roof here, this probably wouldn't look incredibly ugly right here. Either this way or this way. I'm probably a little partial to this. So that is what I will do for right now. Just to make this look a little bit better. And then I can take these ladders out and we can maybe put something else on top of this. Eventually, when time allows. Progress here continuing very slowly, but we are making gears. And we are making planks. That should help. We already had tons of metal blocks. Already had a decent amount of bricks. And we are very close, friends. Very close to being out of scrap metal over here, which is, not the end of the world. That's fine. It just means we're going to have to go into another location to find more scrap metal, which we're going to have easier and easier access to as we continue going around the map. It just takes time. Oh, we also have this that needs to get capped off. That's definitely a thing. We talked last episode about where I want to put in various things to prevent backflow and to channel Badwater. Oh, we got a little cavern here with some scrap metal. Oh, that's kind of cool. Look at this. Look how this is laid out. We've got blockages here that are, well, blocking, and they make a little tunnel. Look how cool this is. Look how this is set up. Oh, that's neat. Oh, and it's so hidden. You just have to... Oh, yes. See, this is the kind of map design I really love. Like, I never would have noticed that unless I, well, noticed it. So, anyway, I need to come in here and blast some tunnels out to do Badwater diversions. That should not be too big of a deal. We just need to do it probably during a drought, or at least definitely not during a bad tide, so we can take care of that. I have ideas, but to do that, we do have to have all this stuff researched, and we have to be making extract, which is going to require that we have centrifuges, which definitely can be something that we do in this area here. But all of it starts by having the Badwater rig set up, ready to go. Yeah, I think otherwise, stuff's looking fine. I just need to create some flow here to get this Badwater out, or stop Badwater from even being a thing at all in this area. So I think they're going to be working on that. I've already talked about what's going on over here. And I don't necessarily want to start building a little hospital complex here until I have the space to place items that are going to need to be down here. That being said, we can start the process of planning out what's going to get blown up and what's not. I think for the purposes of, industrial ease, and not necessarily just flattening the entire mountain or whatever, I think, and a lot of you do seem to agree, that we can just employ dynamite sparingly to make stuff viable. So why don't we take this single dynamite. I know we can't make it yet, but take this out, which will give us, once this entire thing is blasted out here, I can put a medium tank here, which could be for extract or it could be for whatever, and that will allow us to put in the decontamination pods in this general area, powered from beneath with all sorts of other stuff. And decontamination down below in the basement or whatever you want to call it, and then build everything else up on top of it. We'll get there in due time. We also want to be sure we're keeping an eye out for different routes we can send our trains on when we get around to those guys. That is probably going to be quite a ways off. So we have a drought in 3 days. This is probably not going to be finished by then based on how slow the gears get made. Yeah, 1.5 hours per gear. I don't know that that's going to be viable. Well, they'll get this taken care of. For right now, this the windmills have actually done basically the entire powering of this, and that's I know not a great long-term thing, but it is working. And of course, we're going to have a centrifuge, which is going to require more consistent power, and that's going to need an engine. All that stuff, so on and so forth. When we get around to making fuel, there is a recipe that we can use charcoal and Badwater to make fuel. It's not necessarily the most efficient one. Somebody did the math the last time we played these guys and told me which one was the most efficient. I do not remember what that was. But you can look at these recipes here and you can, I guess, decide for yourself which one you think would be best. It's going to be a while before we get there. But the point I'm getting at is, it's possible to just use the least efficient Badwater-powered one and then not have to worry about bringing materials in from everywhere else, and this whole area just kind of be self-sustaining. Even if it's not the most efficient. We can make our fuel here, and then we can put those into the liquid fuel engine and create the power that we're going to need to drive our centrifuges and all that other fun stuff. It's just going to take time. Now these guys just need to put in another 250 gears, 252 technically, And we'll have that going. That'll get stopped up. And it's already going to be a drought by the time that's done, which is great news for us. Which means this will not have anything spewing out of it by the time we get these guys down here to build everything else. But now, because we're going to have a drought, we can kind of plan how our tunnels are going to work over here. So you see we have this set up. It is a 1 block high, if I can even get the camera in this way to show it to you. It is a 1 block high kind of cavern in here, so what I'm thinking is going to make sense. Let's put sluices across here. Going to go in dev mode real quick just to check the strength. That is something you guys suggested we do as well. 6 total, which we don't need 4 sluices to do, but it's just going to look better. So that's 6 total. Another 6. I guess Simple Sounds mod doesn't turn that sound off, but so we're up to 12. And then over here we have another 6. Alright, so we have a total of 18, and we might have already done this and I just forgot, but we have a total of 18 CMS coming out of here, which means, depending on how we want to do our flushing system, so to speak, we'll need to account any drop-offs are going to have to account for 18 CMS worth of flow. Now, the fresh stuff coming off in here we already know is fine because it's working, but I'm thinking as far as routing goes, let me get out of dev mode. As far as routing goes, based on how this is currently set up, and flow goes off the side of the map here, there's already a nasty there, there's a huge outflow here. We don't want any bad water coming this way, we'd like to avoid it coming this way, if we can. So what I think is going to make the most sense is if we route it this way, and then this one just straight out here. That's going to be the easiest thing to do. So that means we have those sluices there. We'll need a tunnel to come around here to join the back side of this. And I think probably the easiest thing for us to do here is just kind of split these up. I'll do 2 sluices. Here and here, because we do want this to be able to, you know, do what it's supposed to do. Have everything come out this way. I don't know that we're going to have consistent flow here if I have all of this in the way, but again, I want to make it so it's not going to be completely stupid. We want to close this side above contamination. We're just going to get this all completely set up so we don't have to worry about it. And then everything else is going to have stuff coming out this way, which I will just square this off probably best as I can. But this side, because it's not going to have to look nice underground, can just get filled in there, and then this can be our tunnel straight through here. I can't obviously put the sluices in because they can't go into the wall, but that's what we're working with here. So this here needs to be set the same exact way. I'm going to take this off at triple speed just because we don't need to have time rush that quick. So that one is set identically. This one obviously has to be set by itself as well. There we go. And I think the way that this is set up, we can just have a single side exit here. And that is... oh, hold on. 2000 science, I can easily do that. Come on. There we go. Now, 6 of this theoretically can go through 1 wide, but I'm going to just not make it do that. I'm going to make this come out here in this corner, because that's going to guarantee that everything comes out of here and just goes all the way across, and these won't open until it's clean. So we'll do 2 wide all the way down here to meet up with this, at which point it will probably have to be, in theory, 2 wide is fine, but when this joins up, I will make this 3 wide all the way out to here. And the way that this is laid out, to avoid any nonsense over here, I think we're going to want this to have a jog to come out of the corner here. Which means here, here, here. Gone. And just have this laid out like so. And I'll do that. That should, I think, do the trick here. We're going to have our requisite amount of edges, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 2.2 gives us more than 12, which is what this would be, that will be totally fine. That'll come out right here, and then most of that will go out here. And some of it will probably go out here, depending on how we have stuff laid out. But that would pave the way for us to completely separate this. Maybe channelize this at some point. Or depending on how, you know, extremely desperate we were to have complete cleanliness, we could go all the way down to the bottom of the map if we wanted a very, very, very big construction project that would take a tremendous amount of time. Which, honestly, seems a little bit more compelling. But that could be an eventual goal. We don't want to get too greedy at, you know, all at once. But that's going to work for here. And then this one, like I said, is going to have to be just its own thing. Try to keep it from going into here as much as possible, so this would just be a very simple straight out this side. It's only 6, so... And I think, yeah, I'm going to have to put in some sort of a thing up here, but I want to make sure I have space. Yeah, I'll take that out. Take that out. Take that there. Remember that we have to have at least 3 edges. So hopefully that makes sense. This would be 6.6 worth, and it's only going to be 6 coming out. So that's fine there. The reason I did that is so that I could then just come straight across here. Just like so, and do 2 sluices here. And get that set to close above contamination. There we go. So that should work out pretty nicely. I don't think we need to worry about this corner here. That's not really cheating per se. Alright, so that's laid out just fine. And it's going to be a gargantuan task to get this done, but we've got it set up. Maybe the hard part now is going to be getting these beavers inside to actually build this. So I just need to figure out the easiest way to do that. Obviously, it's not going to be coming around and underneath. It's going to be blasting through the top. But that's going to be something to worry about after we have the ability to actually make dynamite, which we're still waiting on 210 gears to do. This is set up just fine. I thought I had this... Ah! See, again, this is... Not the way I wanted this to go. This needs to be down. It needs to stay down. Not that this really matters anyway. It can't backflow. See, I thought I had this fixed. Yeah, well, as we've seen, there's nowhere for this water to go. This is totally okay. At least this is looking good. And this probably would have been a decent time to put a flat top floodgate in here, but you know, we're not quite there yet. I will, though, for the sake of, you know, aesthetic sensibilities, I will put this piece of levee in here, even though we don't need it and it's not breaking the game or whatever. But it does look a little bit nicer with this here, and then I do have the science to do this, so we might as well go ahead and unlock this flat top floodgate and then place that there when the time comes. Right now we still have 6 days, and I do not want them to pump all of this water out. Not that we're going to need it anyhow. Should be okay. So still waiting on that. This has no power because, well, it's got no power. I know. Groundbreaking revelation there. Yeah, we're going to need to have some more windmills. That was something that I was hoping to figure out a little bit of a more elegant solution to. So what's going to be easiest, I think, is for us to put in one there and one there, and then temporarily, because we don't have anything else we're putting up here at this exact moment, temporarily connect them that way. I don't know that we're going to have... Oh, those don't take gears. Good. Good, good, good. This is now priority number 1. Just get these in here so that when we do have wind, we can adequately power everything and, more importantly, recharge these small horizontal frame flywheels. Which, you know, they're not going to hold everything forever, but for what we can do, 8,000 HPH should be, times 4, should be adequate for these droughts, bad tides, periods without wind, because I guess it doesn't really matter what that is. And just move on from there. So, triple speed goes there. We already talked about what we're doing underneath this, but we do still have to get over there. And I've got this 4x1 bridge here. Unfortunately, this isn't the same height here. This is height number 10. This is height number 12. So, seeing the space we have here, this is a 4x coming off of here. If I moved it over 1, it would need to be a 5. If I did a 6, then I could, in theory, get over to close enough to this space for that to be a thing. That's at 145. This is at 146, so this is actually the spot where we want to go. It's easiest to just come up this way, I think is going to be the thing. But it's going to require a little bit of, shall we say, creativity to get the beavers in the right spot. So what if I came up here for the 2x, get that researched, and do a 3x, then I do one of these numbers, or maybe I'll just try it with the 2x for right now, because that is going to be at the correct height. Come in. Where's the bridges? I always forget where all this stuff is. 6x is going to get me to there. I actually didn't need the 6. I guess the 5 would have been fine. 5 there. 5 there. Gets me across. I know this is ugly. Once again, aesthetic sensibilities are secondary to functionality for the first little bit. That is the requirement of what we have going on right now. I hope you can understand that. Just get this situated here. They'll come and pick up all these different pieces because that is automatically prioritized thanks to the TImprove mod. Then they'll have a way to get across here. I know they're not going to do this before the next temperate season comes in. They just have to be able to do what they have to be able to do. Let's bring this right across. They will eventually... did I deprioritize this? Oh, they can't... Wait, they can't reach this? Oh, okay. Ah, see what had happened was, I guess they couldn't reach this because this isn't going to allow them to build this, which I thought they would. Okay. Well, this is a good time to talk about something else you guys suggested, which was to take these pathways out and instead make these private contemplation spots. That seems like just a smart thing to do. So now, if I take my wooden path with railings and stick it here, now this becomes accessible, which wasn't necessarily my intent. I am going to still deprioritize all of this, but at least they can get to it now when they have an excuse to get to it. Just want to make sure we're doing everything we can. Yeah, so we got that nasty brackish water here that just kind of stays isolated. We'll need to clean that out. There's no inflow or anything. That's just remnants from the last couple times we had bad tides. And of course, everything coming through here that will be substantially reduced once this is done. I don't think we're going to get another 165 gears in the next 3 days. But we're making more power now, which is good because now these are very full. And this is ready to go just as soon as the beavers can actually get to work and do all of that. And yes, long term, we do need to build more of these. I have plenty of beavers to do it. I just don't have a great way to lay this out without it looking really dumb. And that wouldn't have fit directly in front of that windmill either. So, I can do, you know, this actually wouldn't look too bad, putting another one of these right here. Would give them some other stuff to work on. Our total production, we get one of these every 2/3 of an hour, and this consumes one of these every 1.5 hours. This consumes one of them every 3. Okay, so this is still enough to, you know, feed both of these and still have some left over, so I'm not worried about that. I just need them to work on all this. They're using the planks, I think, to build this, which, you know, I did tell them to do that, so I can't be angry. Just need to make sure we are one step ahead of these guys, best as we can be. And this is an overhang here. I don't think it goes back very far. It does not. So we just need to make sure that we are getting this laid out correctly. That's not going to work great, but that will. Okay, that's part of a tree, but you know what? I did say we're going to try to make stuff look not completely stupid at all times. So I will commit to having this route out that way. Put that there. Then I need to peel this back to see exactly where I have to blast down. Yeah, so I want them to be able to come in, I guess right here, this corner would probably be fine. I'll go at, this is 89,163. So 89,163, that is where I need to go. Just take that right in the middle of the screen so I do not have any possibility of making a mistake. This here needs to become, I have this sign, so I'll just do a double dynamite. So that will go down 1, 2, and then that should allow them to take that out, which actually means I can make this a 3. Yeah, let's just do that. That'll be easiest. Then I can put in a ladder down there and get them to, you know, blast their way around. That's going to require, for efficient production at least, some storage for various materials. So explosives and extract, but most importantly for all the tunneling. If I can ever remember where that button is. Here we go. Yeah, okay. I'm going to have to build a little storage complex here. We need planks. We need logs. Yeah, okay. So industrial pile here and here. One for planks, one for logs. We're going to need a storage for extract, which of course does not have a convenient place to get put here. Maybe I shouldn't have designed this like this. Maybe I should have designed it at all. Just put any amount of effort into thinking about this before I hit record. We'll just do this. So we've got dynamite. This can be for extract. And yeah, that should cover just about everything except metal. For the sluice gates, we're not going to need a ton. But I think it would be helpful if we had just any amount of it right here. So that will go just like that. Alright, so it's going to take a while to get here, and we've established that, and that's fine. We're just putting in some sort of work. I really wanted this to be done, so we didn't have any more nasty coming through here. But you know how things go. It does, in fact, just take time. And they'll get to that eventually. I guess I should make this a priority, because that's going to make that go by quicker. We're going to need gears for other things as well. Okay, looking decent. We've started putting stuff in here, which I guess is fine. I did tell them they needed to do that. This is now able to flow. This is fine. Okay, I'm going to take this out, put in our flat top floodgate. I guess it doesn't really matter which direction this goes, because it's fine there. This, when a drought starts, goes up. When the drought ends, goes down. When the bad tide starts, goes up. When the bad tide ends, goes down. It's just by itself. That's fine. Let them take care of what they got to take care of. I know I said this was making enough planks. That was very clearly wrong, so let's mirror what we've got going on that other side and pop this in like so. Just to kind of symmetricalize all this. I know it's not the most beautiful thing you've ever seen, but it is a little bit better than, you know, the alternatives. Alright, we still haven't gotten to this. That's because that's never going to be a huge priority. Let's just give that a little bit of a bump. Do what we got to do. This will allow them to get to here, and then eventually all the way down there once I keep up with everything. Oh, you know what? There's a hole above here. Maybe that means I should modify this a little bit, because I don't want that to be super ugly, but maybe I should just cap this off with more dirt. I can put a support up here, and that'll let me do that, but we're not quite there yet. We'll get it taken care of. This area over here for this next one, still have to be able to get into this, which I guess I can have them come straight through here. And that will be how much? 3? I think it should be exactly the same. Let's do 66,126 as the goal for that. That is this one. So let's just check this. Yes, that'll work out great. Cool. So that just has to be accessed all the way from up here. We got another similar kind of situation with our approach here. Just pop that in that spot. And then by the time we actually get any motion on this at all, it's probably going to be next episode. But we're laying the groundwork. We're letting it happen. We do still need to substantially increase outputs of things. Alright, so this is working. I still have 8 beavers who aren't doing anything. Now, those are all maxed out. So maybe it's time for another builder's hut. And in terms of places to put one of those, I'm trying to avoid sticking anything here because I know we're going to do farms. We haven't done that yet, I know. Here's not a terrible spot for it. It's not a great spot either, but that's something. And then I'm going to do another builder's hut, at least for right now. Probably is fine to put this right about here. I know it's not the most, again, most beautiful thing you've ever seen, but it'll get us going on this. Slightly decrease the workplace priority on that. That's already done. Okay. Because they are at some point going to finish these, and we're going to have extra beavers, which, hey, that's fine, but we have to be able to do something with them. Alright, so that's good. They're starting on this. Once again, that's going to be a big, big task to get taken care of. More interested about how this is going. Okay, good. 54 gears remaining until this is finished. That will help us just as soon as that is done. Then we can start the process of getting everything else taken care of. We do still have to be able to get down here. So, if we don't have to use ladders for the sake of, you know, things looking nice, it would be kind of good to avoid those. So if this comes out this way, this could go down here, and this could go down here, make us a little bit of a winding path to get down. Nothing necessarily wrong with that. It's just going to, you know, be a little circuitous. But it's going to look nice. Or nicer, I should say. Then once we have our Badwater stored down here, we don't have to have everything else production-wise be in the same spot. But this space up here, if we wanted to be smart about it, would probably not be a bad place to have a centrifuge. And depending on how I wanted to lay the rest of this out, I could slightly modify this and put a centrifuge up here and have power for any variety of sources there. I hesitate to put in water power with these water wheels because this is all going to change as things get finished. We just have to keep ourselves apprised of the situation there. Yeah, see, this is just going to be nasty until we can flesh stuff out this way. That'll come in due time. Good news is, though, that this is coming together very nicely. Prioritize, prioritize, prioritize. This also, obviously, doesn't have anything going into it yet, but it will. So maybe let's put into motion getting the centrifuge built, because I know that's going to require more gears that we don't have. This is just about done. It only needs 10 more. These don't require gears, which is good. Let's get this unlocked. It is a 3x3 building. So there's not a ton of spots that could really fit super elegantly. But we can maybe be a little creative with this. And I don't think it's unreasonable to have a Dynamite here. In fact, this hasn't been fully constructed yet. I'm going to need them to build this so I can remove these 2 trees. And then I'll put that staircase going up this way. That'll give me a space to put this. And then all that other stuff as well. We need to, of course, have an explosives factory. We have to be able to make the stuff. But because that is a different shape, we could, if we decided, put this somewhere slightly differently and have some sort of power connectivity to this. Yeah, see, I think I'm trying real hard to be creative with this. I know this is probably not like the most common sense way to build this out, but I'm trying something different. Appreciate your patience. I think, oh good, this is done. I think I'm going to take these stairs out just for the sake of making this slightly easier. Put a platform in here, and then we're going to have a power shaft go underneath this to connect these two buildings here. And then that is going to be where I put my explosives factory, at least for right now. So we'll get that set like so. Take this out here. I don't think we're going to need to have this in this exact spot, but for right now this is fine. If this is just a small warehouse... Actually, you know what? That's going to be a mistake. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make that into a supply. And then, obviously, the Badwater has to connect to this, so we do have the opportunity here, depending how we want to route this, to have a branch line almost, in terms of staircases. Coming up like this, or maybe coming up here would make more sense. Just trying to figure out exactly how that's going to work. I could just do ladders, I know, but ladders are the safe, boring option, right? Sometimes you want stuff that's a little bit more of a risk, design-wise. If I were to do that, then I would have to come in... Oh, you know what? I could come up just like this. Didn't have to be complicated. Just have that kind of turn around that way. And then this, of course, would be our centrifuge. Once this gets relocated, that goes there, which then means this no longer has to be a thing. Force them to build that 3x3 there, which means this would go here, and then I could have a little tiny tank for extract. That would be the supply center. I know that's very small, but the hauler beavers can take care of all of that stuff. We can make stuff look slightly better when we get around to fixing everything else there. Yes, there is no staircase to get down here. Yes, that will be fixed. And that means I need to have that dart over like that. Again, what's the term I'm looking for? Non-conformity to stereotypical design is what I'm going for here. I know it's not the most efficient thing ever. Okay, looks like this is good to go. Prioritize. And they got all the way over here as well, which is probably going to need the same kind of stuff. Although this is closer, and this is not as big of a thing. I think we'll be fine to just leave this as it is. Alright, still looking okay. Still looking okay. Oh, we're at 48 minutes already. Wow. Well, you can see this is already starting to get just a tiny bit cleaner because that's capped off. That's helpful. Or I'm hopeful that it's helpful at least. We did kind of bog down construction by building a whole lot of stuff at once, and the industrial capacity does not have, well, the capacity to keep up with it. We're working on it. We will get there. Don't you worry. We just don't have the planks, and these don't have the planks because it's doesn't have the logs. Yeah, we have very quickly outpaced our log production because, well, we're building a whole bunch of stuff over here. So, yeah, we're going to need to cut some more trees down. Do I have any... Okay, I do have trees over here I can cut down. That is a very easy thing for us to fix. Now, why did I place that that way? That was dumb. Yeah, let's get these going here. Mark this entire thing. I know it's not a lot of trees, but it's some amount of trees. And we have some amount of trees that we can cut down. So they will take care of that. Get us a little bit. I know we have some stuff down here. It's harder than you think to get over to this. That's not going to reach quite all the way out there. So we'll have to do some sort of other accessibility into the middle here. Let's actually put that in before we get too close here. So that's going to help a lot. I suppose I do need to put one of these right here. They'll take care of that. Alright. This isn't reachable by anything. I guess that's fine. Population can slowly grow. And... Okay, who's flooded? Oh, okay, this thing. I'm going to pause construction on this until this becomes unflooded. I realize that it probably will never become unflooded unless I put something in front of it. Yeah, that's going to have to be fixed. It's not going to look great, but easiest thing to do is just to pop in a couple of these levees here. That will allow them to do... I should have paused this one instead. That'll allow them to get this taken care of so they can actually, you know, use this. This has no power because I don't have everything connected yet. Did I have this set up correctly? I think I can here. Did I? I might not have. I might have had this set up entirely wrong. Windmill? No, it's not going to let me do that. Okay. So I thought about maybe passing power through here, but I don't think it wants to let me play nice. That's 150 HP. The explosives factory is, if I remember, more than that. No, it's exactly 150. What's the centrifuge? 200. So I need 350. Okay. All right. Well, I guess I could just do a regular engine. I know that's not the exciting, fun-looking option here, is it? But it's going to be the option I can do, and sometimes that's, well, all you can do. If I make this a vertical... Oh, that's not even going to connect there at all. What am I doing? That's not going to work. This has to go in the middle of it. Yeah, okay. All right. Okay, I see what I did here. All right, so these two, ironically... Oh, I made a mess. I made a mess, folks. Oh, jeez, I really made a mess. Why am I the way that I am? So this is going to have to get built and then torn down, just because the... See, I tried to do something that didn't look stupid, and in the process made something that didn't work at all. Just, I guess, goes to show you how incredibly difficult it is to change your mindset when building things in this game. I'm so used to just making stuff that's ugly but works, that when I try to make something that isn't ugly, it doesn't work. Okay, cutting trees down, that's been good. This no longer can reach anything, so bye, go do something else. This one's just about finished. And if we ever need more berries, I guess we can come over here and grab some, but I don't think we're going to need any more. So that's fine there. We're slowly filling these things up. Yeah, give these oak trees a chance to catch up a little bit. Those pines I saved. Oh, you know what? I didn't have this marked for anything else. Yeah, I need to leave the pines here so that when we need resin, we don't have to go find it somewhere else. Who else has trees? Okay, we got all of the scrap metal. So that's done. Alright. See, I mean, there's trees over here. It's just not really a very convenient place to come and get some trees. That'll work, though. I mean, it's, again, ugly, but it works, kind of. Except I'm spending trees to go and get trees. Let's just get this popped in here. Mark all of these for cutting. And the rest of those little seedlings aren't going to matter. Yeah, I will have to put in a lumberjack flag. I guess probably down... no, I can't even do that. This is a good place to start to actually be able to get some soon, but I'll get more coverage if I come all the way down here. Not really that much more coming all the way down here, so if I just... if I keep that to right here... No, it's still not going to be perfect. Fine, I'll just do it at the bottom. They'll be alright, they'll figure it out. Okay, we got another drought coming up, which could be a good opportunity for us to make some progress here, if I can get all this other stuff figured out. See, this needs to be unpaused. Just don't want them to have to walk through the nasty water. I don't think this is... Okay, that's definitely, definitely poisoned. Alright, so I'm going to pause this so they don't have a reason to walk down here. Gonna pause this one so they don't have a reason to walk through it. So then, hopefully, they will have no reason to walk down here until this dries out, which will take a little bit of time. This is waiting on planks. Yes, okay. Got some extra beavers, though. I really should have another one of these large lumber mills. I just need to be able to reconfigure where these windmills go. And this does look nice. Kind of in this semi-symmetrical arc here. I do think that looks nice. I don't regret doing this way. Just, you know, we got to get it figured out at some point. This looks good, though. The flat top floodgate. Not too shabby. In fact, I'm going to just put that all the way down so that it can keep filled up. We got no extra flowing over here, which I guess that's fine because we have stuff coming out this way. This guy's all finished. Alright, see you later. Food and water, of course, still looking pretty good, but could be better. Some of these are the new recipes that we haven't really had the chance to do much with. We've got all these beets, but I never actually started making grilled beets because I never built my third grill because I was going to get all this stuff out of here. Well, that's been indefinitely delayed, so build me a thing that makes grilled beets. We need to have that. Okay, this is no longer flooded, so that's good news. I'm going to only put a couple of beavers in here. I think they can get contaminated from this. Maybe, maybe not. We will see what happens. This still has not been finished because I don't have enough planks. Yeah, somebody had to build multiple medium tanks that take a whole lot of planks. I wonder whose fault that was. I'll take these stairs out. That'll help a little bit. Drought in one day. Everything else is looking fine. We already established that. We've made no progress on this Beaver Medical Center area. I know that's on me. I might have to push it to the next episode because I just need to get this going a little bit faster. Oh boy. And this is already at 58 minutes. Challenging position in which we find ourselves. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to time-lapse this a little bit just to get some more progress going. And maybe we can have all this stuff that I've kind of overzealously promised at least started by the time we can finish this episode. So we'll see what they can build in the next couple minutes of my time and the next couple seconds of yours, and I'll catch you after the break. Alright, so coming out of the time-lapse here, we've gotten a decent amount of explosives made. I do see some in place over here and in the process over here as well. So, just so I'm not a liar, I am going to try to focus a little bit more before we're gone today on starting the process of getting this set up. They can't place everything quite yet because I have not given them a pathway with which to do so. This should allow them to get around to the back side. Yep, there we go. They'll place that. But we need to get our centrifuge and stuff set up here. So my original vision was we put the centrifuge here, and then I put a power generating unit of some type over here, which is why I have this, which we will be for boom. That will go there. This will have to turn into a vertical power shaft. So then that can go up and over. And what's going to happen is, I know this is ugly, but it will it'll be nice by the time I'm done with it. Once again, trust the process, etc. I wanted to give this a chance to actually get going and make some dynamite so that I could actually build everything else out, because this is going to have to get completely removed. But a regular engine, just right here, will work out to be probably fine. Once again, this is going to be ugly. It is okay. It is not, you know, ideal, but it is okay. In fact, new plan. And I'm giving some of you guys whiplash. I'm going to blow this up, and this, instead of being a vertical, will just be a regular power shaft, because it does have to go into the center of this other thing. And this will also allow us to kind of have the setup slightly better. I'm going to leave this going while we're working on this. And I do have 2 of these beavers. Look at this. This is actually very, very full. I'm going to take this down to 1 beaver. This is probably fine. I guess they can fill this up at some point. Explosives going in there. This can be built. Yeah, I just need to make sure the stuff gets done. Now that we have all of these dynamites mostly in place, once that is done, we can start plotting this out. It will have to be built up slightly to put roofs on everything, but I think you're going to be... Well, you might not like it, but you're not going to be disappointed probably by the vision that I have here, if I can make it work. So B for boom, B for boom, B for boom. Just about done here. One more B for boom. Just like that. Now, what is going to happen here is medium tank, which based on the layout of this, I think is going to be better swapped that way. This, of course, will be for extract, because extract is what powers the... No, it's not. This is the Emberpelts mod. Oh, I know someone's already called me out on that in the comments. If that was you, I appreciate you dearly. Alright, this made this complicated. Okay, well, Phoenix Essence then. And then the decontamination pods I was going to stick here. And let's see, how many can I fit here? 6. These are 100 HP each. Oh, yikes. Okay, well, how about 5? How about 5 of those? Because that's going to be 500 HP, which is what one of these engines allows. Okay, alright. So then that will go in here. That will mean I have to design one of these big ugly things into this complex, but that's fine. I'm going to move this back one more here. And then get that hooked in like so. Give this a wooden path with a railing to go outside here. These run off of charcoal, so I will give them a small pile for charcoal. And that can be our little mechanical complex, I guess, whatever. But the idea here is that this is our underground poison beaver depoisoning unit. So you got 5 of those. Hopefully we don't need more than those. We'll see what happens. And then across the way here, remember, beavers who are contaminated are still going to have to go back and sleep in places, but that doesn't mean that we can't make good use of this space to have a little bit of nutrition available. So I'm going to put in 2 warehouses here. We'll pick 2 good foods for them. I think grilled corn is a nice option. And then, let's see, apples, you know, keep doctors away, etc. And then just put a small tank for water right here. Just to keep these guys hydrated and nutriated, if that's even a word. And then we have some space here that we can do some other stuff with. But the whole idea was like, this is the underground. This is what keeps the beavers healthy and out of view, like the intensive care unit kind of thing. So we need to put a cap on this. And we have these other platforms that I haven't... I actually forgot to enable that mod. I have those platforms mod that adds, well, additional platforms. And I think one of those is one that has a slightly irregular shape to it. So we will see what happens. These overhangs can go over the first part, but not all of it, of these things. So if we just keep that open, then I could, depending on how I want to lay this out, I could have done 3x3s on top of this, and then some other thing on the side. But you know how this goes. You can't put anything else over here, so if you want to have something covering all of this, then it has to be up one more level, which would allow us to take these 4x1s like so. We just couldn't have this small tank in this exact spot. It would have to be somewhere else, or would have to be buried and then have some sort of other mess there. So, you know what, actually, bearing that in mind, if I were to put the water over here instead, and then just had a couple more food items in this spot right here, make one more warehouse. That is grilled corn, apples, and then, you know what? Where's the beets? Where's my grilled beets? That's stuffed peppers. Baked beets, I'm sorry. There you go. That's a hospital-type food. What that's going to allow me to do, unlock the 4x1 overhangs. Then we can have this completely hidden underneath here for at least this part, and then do something kind of similar in this area if we wanted to do additional types of food, which, you know what, honestly, seeing how my whole idea kind of fell apart. We might as well just do this. Might as well just do this. All right. You get additional foods. How about berries? Why not? Radishes, I guess, because I have those, that's probably fine. And, won't make them eat bell peppers. They can eat tomatoes, though. Yes, I know, I'm a brilliant statistician here. So that's going to have to be good enough. Oh, wait, I don't have to put that there because that is not going to allow me to build anything on top of it anyway. Alright, so, more little water, or I can put some other type of juice for them to, what's the healthiest juice? Beetroot radish, probably. Oh, bell pepper juice, yeah, that's horrible. Yeah, I know we're not making that yet, but I'll just put that there. So then on top of this, I'm going to have space to put other stuff. And then here I have space to put other stuff as well, but I have to be able to get these guys in and out of the health dungeon, so to speak. And I think the only real way for me to do that is going to be to come out over up this way. Because that's not going to quite reach. I don't have a curved staircase. Although if I enable the spiral staircase mod, assuming that works with Emberpelts, that could possibly go in there. I might just leave that for you guys to help me with, because this is already a very long episode. So I know this is, you know, not the most beautiful thing you've ever seen, but I'm really trying to think outside the box, which is, like I've said, very hard for me to do after 4 years of playing very, very poorly designed Timberborn colonies. So yeah, let me know your thoughts about this and what you'd like to see else with that. I just thought like the underground beaver ICU probably would be a nice way to have that hidden up. But yeah, we have 2.5 days-ish left in the drought. We do have still no extract because I haven't managed to build this whole thing and get it completely set up. So I will beaver boom this. I will get as much remaining of this setup as I possibly can before we say goodbye today. And that is going to have to be it. So let me just pop this in here and we'll do our end of episode stuff, and then we can all mercifully move on with our lives. So this, of course, is where our extract comes from, like I said before. Alright, so yeah, that's going to be, I guess, the last thing we do today. I'll let them take care of that while we're doing end of episode stuff. But I really appreciate you guys watching these videos, giving helpful ideas, constructive criticism where it's warranted, so on and so forth. Always welcome. I can't do it without the support of the Beard Boosters, like I say every single episode, but it bears repeating because those folks really do make it possible, both for the Beavers and the roller coasters and the other fun that we've started having on the train channels too. It's been so much fun getting to be able to just do whatever we want to do without having to chase the algorithm or worry about taking sponsors or whatever. Just having a good time, trying to cultivate a positive and supportive community. I think for the most part we have. So those folks do make it possible, and I am always going to be thankful for that support. But it is time for this video to end. I appreciate you dealing with a little bit of a longer one. I know some of the new folks to the channel might say, you put up an hour-long video every day, you're insane. Well, yeah, that's probably true. But it is what I've found and what most of us have found to be a pretty fun, pretty easy thing for us to be able to do every day and enjoy each other's company. So whatever it is you're doing with the rest of your day, stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you again soon. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.